Okay guys, welcome to the Calorie King demonstration. This is the program that we're going to use for you to be able to track your food, set up your food and whatnot. So we're just going to have a look at how to actually join up. It's completely free, as you can see it says right there, and it's a great way to really track things. So this is the Australian version, but of course anywhere in the world we can actually use this version. So hit the join now button just on the top right hand corner over there. And it's going to ask you to get started with a personalized profile, so just plug in your details, whatever that may be. Just plugging in my details now. It's all pretty simple now. They are going to recommend us a certain amount of calories, kilojoules, carbs and fat. So we're going to stick with that 12 to 1400 for the female and between the 16 to 1800 for the male. So just follow down and just put in your details. Just make up your username, whatever that may be. There you go. Plug in a password. Put in an email. You guys are welcome to contact me with that email if you like. And whatever postcode that you may be in. And also that you agree. Hitting the next button. I've already got an account signed up with this email address, so hitting the next button will then send you a link straight to your email, and where we'll be able to straight away click on that link and take you straight to the next part where I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to pause the video and I'll see you guys back in one. Okay, so we're back. This is the home screen now that you'll find. You'll be able to put your username and your password in, just hitting the go button just there. And that'll take you to your today page. So the only thing you really need to worry about on this page here is recording your food section. However, just before we get into that side of things, we just want to set up your account to make sure you've got the right. So we want to hit the account settings just up on here, and just go into take your personal profile, plugging in your date of birth and whatnot, which you've already been preset. Scrolling down, if your goal is to lose weight, maintain weight, this is just going to determine how many calories the program actually recommends you. You can have a check-in day on Saturday where they actually send you an email to make sure you've actually checked in. We want to hit the next button, and we want to hit in the set calorie intake that we're actually aiming for. So if you're a female and quite petite, then I would put it around the 1200. If you're a female wanting to lose some weight, then I'd put around the 1400. This is just a guide. You should do some of your own research as well, but from the amount of food diaries that I've seen in my time, this is the amount of calories, 12 to that 1400. Anything less and you hit your body into that starvation zone, and you really start to lose metabolism, start to decrease your metabolism and start to lose lean muscle mass along the way. So for the fellas, 1600 to 1800 is a good target. We're going to sit Dave on around the 18 to 1900 calorie mark. So just plug in what the calorie you'd actually like to hit. And we also want to have a bit of a look at our protein, saturated fats, carbohydrates, and our fat intakes as well. So we want to try and keep our saturated fat intake down. This is set up for a 1400 calorie diet. Basically the way you can work these figures here out is 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. 1 gram of carbohydrate is also equal to 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories. Saturated fat is obviously included under the actual fat section, but it's just good to know how much saturated fat you're actually intaking as well. So we hit the next button, and that'll take us back to our personal profile page. I'll just be back. Okay, so here we are back to our today page. So remember that section, the record your food section. We want to click on that button in there. And up here on the tab, just in through here, you have food and also exercise. Look for this particular next 30-day challenge, I'm going to recommend that we stay away from putting the exercise in. Just be focusing on food only. Now I preloaded a few meals, 3 of the perfect days, I guess, that I use to be able to teach clients on what's the best way on the best things to eat. So we'll just head to that day now. Is it the week after? Okay, so I've put in 3 days into this section here, which we're going to have a look at to see, I guess they're pretty typical days, and how we can sort of tweak them and make them better. So the 3 days I'm going to show you are absolutely perfect. So what I want you to do right now is actually plug in your perfect days, which I'm going to show you how to do in 1 second. Put in your last couple of days, or begin actually recording from now for your next couple of days, so you can start to plan your week. So whatever day you go shopping, that's when you sort of want to be planning in all your food, and I'll show you how to use a few really good tools on this one here, on this program, which you can actually take a shopping list with you as well. It's absolutely fantastic. So let's just make a new day into Thursday in through here and show you how to actually use this. So you can plug in whatever it is that you want to eat. So you know, let's have a thing. Let's just put in some bread, just as a start, just to see how do we actually do it. If you bake your own bread, you can actually add it as a custom food. But let's just say we just want to go to the shop. It's going to give you average all types of breads. It's got McDonald's, Baker's Delight, Muffin Break, Subway, Tip Top, Bergen, Woolworths, and you've also got the next 30 as well. We can keep on looking. So let's just have a look. Let's just say we use the Bergen bread, wholemeal and seeds, and we didn't eat a loaf, so we just ate a couple of slices. Let's just say we had these for breakfast. And it's going to plug into here exactly how much fat, saturated fat, protein, and carbs. And one thing I was supposed to start this off with, which I'll show you guys now, is clicking here is the preferences button. Now, preferences, it'll actually be clicked. If you guys do this with me now, you'll actually see that your kilojoules will actually be clicked. I've actually unticked that box, and I've ticked the protein, the carb, the fat, the protein, and the saturated fat levels, and actually plugged in those figures there, average to that 1400 diet. Okay, so let's save those changes, and that's how I've been able to get those figures there. So just make that quick change now for me, and that'll make a lot more sense. So what I want you to go ahead and do is just plug in a few days of actual food. Pause the video, plug in a few days of what you've got to do, and then when we come back, I want you to have a bit of a look at the 3 days that I've actually set up, which will be somewhat similar to what you may have put in, but also it'll have some tweaks in there of how we can better balance your weekly diet around to be able to hit the targets that you'd like to hit. So go ahead, plug in a few days of food now, or feel free to come back to the video. But plug in those few days, and then we'll compare your diaries with the 3 diaries that I've actually created. Okay, great. So we're back now. Let's have a bit of a look at this breakfast here. So this is a pretty typical winter breakfast, I would say. Some quick oats, glass of milk, into the microwave, and maybe a coffee on the way to work. So you can see that that's given us 309 calories. 4.4 of actual fats, 1.2 of that was saturated fat, so pretty low on the saturated fat. A reasonable source of protein, but obviously a very high source of carbohydrate just there. As we go into lunch, we've put in a couple of slices of bread, some turkey breast to get that get some of that protein in, bit of coon cheese, so basically just a little sandwich with some mayonnaise. Now, if your food is a lot higher, of course, if your food requirements are a little bit higher than 1400, 1200, then this is where you just need to add an extra sandwich, basically. For dinner, sorry, let's look at snacks actually. Snacks, this is a Megaburn bar. Megaburn, if you just do a quick Google search, Megaburn creates some really good, wholesome foods in there. All natural ingredients and whatnot. We've got some almonds in the afternoon with an apple as well. So that's a great way to get some snacks in. You don't have to have that entire bar. You can see that the bar at 230 calories can be a little bit much for some people. 400 calories for the full day if we split it 200 and 200 for each of the morning and the afternoon snack. That's not too bad of an afternoon of a couple of snacks. And these are the sort of things that are going to help you guys to stop having those cravings during the afternoon as well. Into dinner, we've placed in here 2 thin slices of meat, some roast beef, lean cut only, to obviously cut out that saturated fat intake. So 1 serving, 3 spears of cooked asparagus, and some cheese with some halloumi, which is still got a little bit of fat in it, but it's still one of the better sources, low in carbs, lower in saturated fat. If you put in any other type of saturated fatted cheeses, you'll find that they're actually quite bad. And what that's given us for the day is that 1200 calories, 42 grams of fat. Here, down here at the bottom is our requirements. We're looking to get under 50 grams of that fat. We want to be under 25 grams of saturated fat. We've well and truly done that. Protein is a little bit under at 87 grams. And if we were to put in a little shake in between after our workout, that would have bumped that up. And our carbohydrate is a little bit down as well. So we'd be preferring to be down in both those last two, because we can add a protein shake into our protein, and a little bit of carbohydrate would come out of that shake as well. As an example, here you can add in your glasses of water as well, and I've also got a little step counter too. But basically, what I want you guys to do is just compare that day there. That's not a bad day. It's not a good day either, but it's a reasonably typical day. But what it does show us is where we're lacking and at what meals that we're actually lacking as well. But we're still reasonably okay on the targets. Let's have another look at another pretty good day as well. This is a breakfast that I typically like to eat. The Kefir yogurt is actually a custom food that I've added in that you can't really buy at Woolworths. It's a probiotic organic sort of yogurt that's really tasty, quite a runny, sort of in between a milky sort of yogurt, and I use the Woolworths Muesli Morning Balance, which is quite tasty. The carbohydrate and the sugar levels in that food are actually full of cranberries and lots of antioxidant ingredients as well. A typical meal, ducked off and got some nice healthy sushi, or so we think. What we can see is that it's obviously massively, it's got a very high level of carbohydrate, and what's happened is that breakfast, and both those breakfasts and our lunch has actually put us at 100 carbohydrates even before dinner or any snacks have actually been put in to the limit. So what that's done straight away is it started to put us up quite high. This is the key though, is just understanding what we're doing. If we are going to have that sushi, how do we make sure we plan around and put something else in? So in the afternoon we've got these snacks in here, and I've actually pulled in an Urban protein shake which has 34 grams of protein. So now I know, even if I'd planned in that I was going to have quite a bit of low protein for morning and my lunch, I now know what I need to do as far as my snacks go for the day to make sure I am actually hitting my targets. Okay, so let's keep having a look. So that was our lunch. Let's have a look at our snacks before we get to dinner. So I had that Urban protein shake at around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, which then obviously carried me over right through till lunch beautifully. And then in the afternoon, I actually chose the Man